Hello, BookTube. This is Kelly with Books I'm Not Reading. I have not lost my mind. This is my beautiful Easter bonnet, I guess. I know Easter's over, and you're like, no, this is, it's Maud Hart Lovelace's birthday today. She is the author of the Deep Valley books, particularly the Betsy-Tacy series, which we've been reading this year. And I just want to do something special for Maud on her birthday. And I thought, this is, I don't know that this is what Betsy's mother may have been wearing in the most recent book or not, but this is as close as I could come to a kind of historical outfit, I guess, if you will. The cat does not like the hat at all, but I think it's fabulous. I don't know if you can see everything there. Anyway, we're here today to talk about Betsy in Spite of Herself, and part of my inspiration for the outfit to celebrate Maud's birthday, some pictures in the back. And look at those fantastic hats. I had a really interesting experience reading this Betsy in Spite of Herself for the second time. Because in part, things in my own life were maybe not going exactly as I wanted them to. And so Betsy's life felt a little bit like too perfect for a while. And it was really slowing me down and really, just making it difficult. It really redeemed itself with some fantastic scenes that we will talk a little bit about. This is Betsy's sophomore year at Deep Valley High School. She turns 16 in this book. She is constantly told how pretty she is by her friends and things like that. She's very popular. Her house is always full of people. And at the same time, it's not enough for Betsy. She uses creamers. She's got like these magic waver curlers in her hair all the time. And so it was just a little hard for me. But there were some scenes in this book that really redeemed it and pulled it together for me. And the first one is that Betsy spends Christmas with Tib, who we haven't seen for a book or so. She spends Christmas with Tib in Milwaukee. And at the time, Milwaukee is predominantly German. So, I mean, they go to a play and everything is spoken in German, and Tib speaks German, and so Betsy's sort of surrounded by all of this, but Maud paints a really wonderful picture of what it might have been like, and it's just, I mean, you want to be there. You want to celebrate Christmas with Tib and her family. It's fantastic. I mean, it's just like a whole week of just celebrating and going from house to house and eating the special German cookies, like I think Kuchen is, maybe that's the general name for them. It is just this really wonderful portrait of a Christmas scene. The other thing is Julia, Betsy's older sister, is graduating from high school. She turns 18 in the book, and she calls Betsy Bettina all the time, which I just love. And she's quite a bit more sophisticated and sure of herself than Betsy is. And she loves opera. And last night I found myself reading the scene where Julia finds out, my kitty's here. It's okay, honey. Don't worry about the hat. I think he's freaked out by the feathers. I'm not sure. But Julia finds out that her father has made arrangements for her and Mrs. Ray to go see the Grand Opera in St. Paul. And Julia has secretly been wanting this. She told Betsy about it. But, you know, they just weren't sure how they could make it possible because it is a costly trip. You know, tickets for the opera, a place to stay in St. Paul, transportation, those kinds of things, new outfits probably. But Mr. Ray surprises Julia and really everyone, and Betsy gets to go, Julia gets to go, and it's just, I was reading it, and the next thing I knew, like, there were tears welling up in my eyes, because I just really understand, you know, growing up in a small town, I did, wanting to see these things that you read about, you see in magazines, you listen to the soundtrack, you know, the music or whatever, and you want to experience it, and it's never going to come to where you live. Like, you're going to have to go somewhere to see it. I just was really moved. I had totally forgotten about that, and I was so happy for Julia. There's also an Easter scene. So I wanted to make sure to mention that as well. And ironically, the Easter scene, it's while I think Julia is away, and Betsy and Margaret, her younger sister, decide to dye Easter eggs, which of course Margaret's delighted with. But Betsy looks a hot mess, and this boy that she's been seeing and his sister stop by, and they're very kind of have their nose down at this whole activity of dyeing Easter eggs. But I thought it was funny because Easter has been in several other scenes in this series. We've seen a few Easters with Betsy and her family, and one of them was quite sad because Tacy's younger sister died right around Easter in one of the really early books. So anyway, I wanted to share with you that story. And Betsy just, you know, at this point with this particular boy, I think she's not ready to say it, but she's just kind of like, this is who I am. You know, like, yes, sometimes you're going to show up and I'm going to be doing something with my younger sister and I'm not going to look picture perfect, kind of thing. My mother actually sent me a text message with a picture of an Easter egg that she had made, if you can believe it or not. And you'll see her in just a second, but she said, I told her how beautiful they were, and of course in my mind I'm like, will you make one for me? And anyway, so she writes me back and she's like, oh, would you like me to make you one? And I'm like, yes. And I want it to be purple because it's now a Betsy-Tacy Easter egg, because purple was the egg in the scene with Betsy and Tacy shortly after, like I said, Tacy's younger sister dies in one of the earlier books. So I just wanted to share this with you. You know how I love having almost like gifts on this channel. So this is, I mean, and it's quite, you know, it's not fragile or anything like that, but this is what my mother made for me. And yes, I love it because it's a beautiful Easter decoration, but I love that it's purple because it now will always remind me of Betsy and Tacy and that particular scene, which may still well be the best scene in all of the series at this point. So, yes. All right. So that's Betsy in spite of herself. And next month, in May, we're going to read Betsy Was a Junior. So, I know some of you, I think, have been struggling with like some of the romance or obsession with boys kind of thing in the stories. I've seen some comments on Goodreads. So I promise you, just bear with me. Like, we're going to get there. We're going to get to some really, really great Betsy stories. But yeah, you know, it's about high school. And I can't imagine that there were a lot of books about girls in high school at the time that these were being published, which is important to keep in mind. So we're going to go through Betsy's junior and senior year, and then we're off to the next adventure with Betsy. So I'm really, really excited about the last two books, Betsy and Betsy and the Great World, and Betsy's Wedding. Again, I know the titles, they're kind of spoilery, but just bear with me. So again, I want to thank the co-moderators for the series, Kate Howe and Katie from Life Between Words. So be sure to check out their Betsy-Tacy videos. I also have a Betsy-Tacy playlist on my channel, so if I have missed one of your videos that you've made about one of the Betsy-Tacy books, be sure to let me know in the comment section below so that I can add it to the playlist. And you can also see everyone else's Betsy-Tacy videos there. It's much easier to find your video if you include hashtag Betsy-Tacy 2019. So I know it's all been a little bit silly, a little bit ridiculous, but thank you for indulging me. And remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I will talk to you soon, Book 2. I hope you had a lovely Easter. Take care.